Stay tuned. The PBA on ESPN is next. ESPN is proud to present the Professional Bowlers Tour.
You're looking at beautiful Rochester, New York. Welcome, everyone, to Marcel's Olympic Bowl, where we have a capacity crowd on hand. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Durbin. And tonight, we have a blend of PBA stars and PBA newcomers. The bowler in our number 3 position certainly fits into that star category. He's Walter Ray Williams Jr., looking at his 9th telecast this year and looking for his 4th victory. And if that's not enough, he's the defending champion here at Marcel's Olympic Bowl. Last year, he went from 24th all the way to 1st. And earlier, I had an opportunity to ask him what makes Marcel's so special.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what is so special about Marcel's Bowl. Maybe I'd like all the other bowling centers to be like that. I bowled pretty well here in the past. Last year, I think it was just one of those Cinderella stories. I just snuck into the top 24, then just snuck into the top 5 and managed to squeak through a bunch of matches. This year, I qualified a little better and had a run. I had a real chance to lead the tournament, but then died the last few games, but still managed to finish 3rd.
The bowler in the number 2 position is certainly a newcomer. He's from nearby Maple Springs, New York, Chris Hooper. And our leading qualifier this week. He's looking for his first victory on the PBA Tour since 1993, the all-time leading money winner in the PBA history, Pete Weber. My partner, Marshall Holman, told a nationwide audience last week that he's back. And I'm happy to say that he's back working with me. He's with our opening 2 bowlers. Let's go to Marshall.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. I'm with Ernie Schlegel. And Ernie, you're 53 years old. You qualify to bowl senior and regular tournaments, that you seem to bowl better on the regular tour. Why is that?
Well, I'm more focused when I come out here than I am there. It's more relaxed when I'm on the senior tour. Here, it's more business, and I like it that way.
All right. Well, you look great, and good luck to you today.
Thank you.
Your first opponent will be Norm Duke. Norm, you got to bowl Ernie. How are you going to tune him out? He has a lot of emotion out there.
Well, a player with that much heart, you basically have to shut him down in 7 frames. If you get him a chance late in the frame, boy, he's tough for the pickles.
All right, Norm. I'll tell you what, we've got a great opening match, 2 great veteran players, and let's get it going.
Thank you, Marshall. We're using lanes 33 and 34 for the championship round finals here at Marcel's Olympic Bowl. Ernie Schlegel will lead off the action on lane 33.
I start? I'm starting. Are we ready?
Ernie's finding out if we're ready. We're telling him we're always ready. As you can hear already, Ernie Schlegel is wearing a wireless microphone, so we'll be able to tune in on his thoughts.
Oh, that was a great opening shot for Ernie, and Ernie is exciting. I'll tell you, at 53 years old, he's liable to, well, here he goes. He's talking already. He's going to put on a good show for us.
The question is, can Norm Duke tune out that show?
Well, I think if anybody can, Norm certainly should be able to. He's a veteran player, and, you know, he's not above a little gamesmanship himself.
Could be an interesting match.
Well, it's going to be.
Cross lane at the 10 pin. No trouble for Mr. Schlegel. Norm Duke, the smallest member on our telecast tonight at 5'5", 123 pounds, now living in Clearmont, Florida.
Oh, no, that's a bad break. If Norm's going with a little more hook, which is his style, and that light hit is generally strikes.
And the crowd gets behind Duke. It seems like everywhere he goes with that chant of Duke, Duke, Duke. So if you're listening in the background, that's what you're hearing.
And Norm will throw the ball very straight at this 4-pin. And no trouble. Oh, here we see Norm Duke. He takes, I believe, 6 steps. Starts the ball, pushes it out very nicely. Very loose and free arm swing. As you can see, getting into his, at the shoulder high, getting into his slide. and right toward his target. He's really a very, very good-looking bowler to watch.
Boy, look at how close he got to that foul line with the heels hanging off the back. He has to do that perfect every time. And speaking of perfect, a perfect strike.
And that ball stopped hooking at the last part of the lane. It sort of held up.
Hooked out.
Hooked out, as they say. As we say.
Ernie Schlegel, the oldest member on the telecast tonight at 53 years of age, from Vancouver, Washington. 5'11", 165 pounds. Well, all 165 pounds into that shot.
Yeah, he looks good, and he's very businesslike.
We all remember the last time that we saw Ernie Schlegel. Here it is, November the 8th, 1995. He put on quite a show in Pittsburgh that night when he won the Turning Players Championship. Well, that was a close match. Let's hope we have a close match this time.
I sure hope so. This is a shot that Ernie really wants. He wants to get out the lead immediately, put the pressure on Norm Duke, because Norm's a great player.
Gotta keep him quiet. I can't concentrate.
Well, Ernie got distracted a little bit.
Cost me 3 seconds there.
Ernie's always been known to let things bother him.
Yeah, he has, and I think in recent years he's done a lot better, but he still lets things get to him.
Cross lane at the 10 pin. Flush.
He throws the ball so straight at those 10 pins, although he throws the ball pretty straight on his first ball too. Shouldn't be any problem for him anytime he leaves a spare conversion.
He was telling me earlier, I think you were there too, that in one of the blocks, in the night blocks, he used a rubber ball from the 1950s and 60s and shot over 200 over, averaged over 230 with that ball.
Yeah, leave it to Ernie. Well, and Norm Duke got the same fate as Ernie Schlegel. Threw a really good shot, left the half 10. Norm seems to be having some kind of problem. Oh, Ernie was in the wrong seat. That's the problem.
Gamesmanship going on already here.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Norm Duke. Ernie kneeling down to the side. Cross lane at the 10 pin. No trouble. ESPN News. Can't get enough sports news? Well, ESPN has the answer. Coming November 1st, the first ever 24-hour all sports news network is coming to your television. Catch the premiere of ESPN News on ESPN at 7 p.m. November the 1st. Call your cable operator or satellite program provider to get that news. The bowlers are going back and forth, but we've got an even match through 3.5 frames. Well, somebody will go ahead. Who will it be? We'll find out after this. The Rochester Open is being brought to you by Pearl Vision. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl. Even match, 4th frame. Ernie Schlegel up, working on a spare. Marshall, supposedly Ernie was in the wrong chair. Are there rules for that?
Well, there are. You know, when your opposition is on the right-hand lane, you're in the left-hand chair. When he's on the left-hand lane, you're in the right-hand chair. But last week when I was bowling in Detroit, I kept forgetting to get out of the left-hand chair. Okay, as we see Ernie's delivery, 5-step approach, another very, very free arm swing. Now, he almost releases the thumb and fingers at the same time. Doesn't put a lot of heavy roll on the ball, but beautifully balanced at release.
These new reactive resin balls really help him.
Well, they certainly have. They've helped his game quite a bit, and he was a great bowler before, but they've given him that extra 10-pin carry that he's always needed.
Just like that. You called that one, Marshall.
Yeah, that's the shot he wanted. Look, he's got those eyes going.
Norm Duke, 5th frame, needs a strike to even the match.
He left the half 10 on this lane the last time. I think he's going to throw the ball, try and get a little fuller into the pocket. And there's his adjustment. He didn't want to hit light again. And
Didn't trust it to hit
he
line.
overcompensated and didn't let the ball freely release off his hand. We can see his shot. He just guides this ball. You know, you cannot guide the ball down the lane. You've got to let it go. And really fortunate to get the 7-pin out of that.
Potential split, yeah.
Yeah, just leaves a 6-10, and very good spare shooter. Shouldn't be any problem.
And isn't. Norm Duke, though, falls behind for the first time in the match. He's 10 pins behind. We're halfway through the opening match, and you can see the score right there. Schlegel working on those 2 strikes.
Yeah, Ernie finally got himself in the right chair.
Not much room back there. They bump into one another going across that little space.
It's tight quarters.
In the pocket, but leaves the 4-pin.
Now that ball didn't hook out quite as much as his first delivery on the left-hand lane.
Shaking his head there. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, you can see his ball rolling down the lane. In the first frame of that lane, his ball hooked out much earlier. That ball got a little fuller, and then it stopped hooking, but it wasn't quite soon enough.
At the 4-pin. He's made this before, makes it now. The spares may not beat our senior citizen here.
No, I don't think so. This is really a shot that Ernie's going to really want. He's talking. Let's listen to him.
He runs it out, and Catherine stands up, doubles up her fist.
Well, Catherine gets, here he goes, Ernie Schlegel with that straight trajectory that he likes to use. That ball was a little left of his target, but he knows it's going to hold pocket, and he loves it. Watch this reaction. Run for him, Ernie. All right. He's fun to watch.
Well, his goal is to win 10 titles. He has 6, so he looks at this as an opportunity to get number 7.
Well, he sets his goals high, and he really has been doing his best bowling in the last few years. This could really put the heat on him.
Original, baby.
There's Catherine. I'll tell you what, she is his, and there's his daughter, Darlene. Catherine is his biggest supporter, without a doubt.
The question is, though, who's more intense, Ernie or Catherine?
Catherine.
Okay.
And that's saying a lot. This is a little Ernie fruit salad he's going to yell. Oh, yeah.
You can see Norm Duke in the 7th frame, and he's trailing by 31, not 21, as that graphic tells you. So he's got to get some strikes going, and there's not much room or time to do it.
All right, well, there's a break that Norm desperately needed.
A little more speed there?
He might have thrown the ball just a little bit harder. He did not try to rotate around that ball a lot.
He's got a variety of weapons, as we see the score there, 31 pins, hitting to the 8th. He's got a strike here, Marshall.
Oh, you would think so. Ernie's not going to miss the pocket. I mean, he's just going to lodge the ball in the pocket all day. So this is very important for Norm. Could not have thrown it any better. That was exactly what he needed at this time.
Well, that gets Schlegel's attention anyway.
Yeah, that'll definitely get his attention. You can see how smooth Norm is getting to the line. He really has a very nice looking game. That ball is going to go out to about the 5 board and hook, and then stops 10 in the pit. He likes it right now.
He's just praying for it to carry.
Oh, yeah.
Even down on his knees. Oh, my goodness.
Wasn't ready.
Wasn't ready, he says.
He rushed himself. It's that clock.
Oh.
It's a 25-second shot clock. You have to get the ball off your hand within the 25 seconds. And
From what time, Marsh?
Well, from the time that your opposition throws, after he throws his shot and he gets back, then you have 25 seconds to start your delivery.
Ernie just going for 2. Well, he went for more. My goodness, he makes the 4-7-9, leaves only the 6, saves 2 pins in count. But right now, even if he strikes here, Norm Duke can take the lead the next time he gets up.
Here we see that split try. He really makes a great shot and knocks the 4 into the 9, and then hopefully into the 6 pin, but it's going to be 9 pins. He needs to strike here to try and build some momentum for the 10th frame.
Smooth. And he carries. Oh, he's disappointed with that 8th frame shot.
Well, that's a very, very disappointing shot. If it was a big shot, he needed that to keep the momentum going on his side. Norm is now, as you can see, Catherine and Darlene are holding hands. They're both very, very much into this match. Norm has a chance to take a 5-pin lead with this strike in the 9th frame.
Will it carry? Oh, the solid 10. He couldn't have thrown it any better.
Well, he thought he had this one. Here we see Norm on the right-hand lane. He gets the ball cleanly off his hand, hops a little bit at the line. Now the ball's flush. 9
That's
pins.
what makes bowling the game that it is. Why all of us that have participated in it for years are babbling idiots. Norm Duke falls behind by 6 pins. Still has an opportunity, if he can strike out, to make Schlegel strike in the 10th frame.
Yeah, he's staring at the scoreboard right now, and he can see what we're looking at right now. He needs to put a couple strikes together in the 10th frame to put the pressure back on Ernie Schlegel going back to the lane he just split on.
This is the lane that Norm has chosen to finish on. Boy, what got the 10 pin?
I'm not sure. That looked like a reactive strike.
A reactive strike.
That's that's the kind of the new terminology with these very, very powerful balls. They strike in places in the pocket that the balls of 5 years ago just wouldn't even think about striking in.
What about the balls of 25 years ago?
Well, then you'd probably leave the back row.
Okay, all right. This is to take the lead. Oh,
Now,
10 pin, then a 4 pin.
he didn't get that cleanly off his hand. As you can see, he's sort of moving his hand as he's walking back.
Yeah, he's even practicing it
Yeah,
in between.
This was not a bad shot, but he didn't quite get the projection necessary to keep the ball light in the pocket. That ball almost trips the 4 pin. And now all Ernie Schlegel needs is to get any kind of a mark and a decent count.
A clean 208, but will it be enough?
Well, I think especially after Ernie going high on this lane in the 8th frame, this will be a very high and hard shot. This ball is not going to be slow.
Well, he's down to 10 seconds on the clock.
I think he'll get it away fine. Or get it away without a fine. 3 seconds to go.
Has to hurry. Has to hurry. Oh, my goodness, the
gosh.
210.
I knew it. Too slow, too fast.
Well, he's turned analyst along with bowler. Right now, he has to be split converted.
9.
Very uncharacteristic of Ernie to come up in a 10th frame like that and not throw the ball into the pocket.
27.
He's still very accurate. He can make this. And he will take his time.
Norm Duke is the winner of the opening match as Ernie Schlegel opens in the 8th and then again in the 10th. A disappointed Schlegel and a relieved Duke as our opening match ends 208 to 202. We'll be back with Average Builders after this important message, and we'll be talking about the all-important pivot step.
For this Average Builder, I want to talk about one of the most important steps in our whole delivery, and it's not the first step. Actually, it's the next to last step, which is the 3rd step in a 4-step delivery and the 4th step in a 5-step delivery. Many people call it the power step. Well, why is it so important? Well, this is the step that prepares us for the finish. And if we rush it or do it improperly, chances are our finish won't be quality and neither will the shot. Well, what do we need to think about in order to do it properly? Well, there's 2 thoughts I'd like to put in your mind tonight. The first is that that step needs to be under control and not too big. The reason for that is, as I step on this next to the last step, I'm going to descend into my approach or finish right like this. And if I take that step really big out here like so, well, I've already started that descent. I've got no place to go to. So what happens? The slide gets short. I don't have time for a quality hand release, and the shot is not as good as I want. What's the second thing I want to think about? Well, that is heel toeing that step. And the only reason I want to do that is as I heel toe, it'll slow my delivery down just a little bit. And that'll help prepare me at the top, put everything in time and sync for that quality descent, long slide, and good finish and good hand release. And what I'm talking about looks like this in slow motion. We can see the first two steps right here. And as we hit the third step, it's under control right there, not too big. And it was heel toed. Enabled me to go into a nice long slide and a good hand release. So remember, for that power step that'll help you have a good finish, don't make it too big and heel toe it and see if your finish doesn't improve. Next week, we're headed even further east, East Providence, Rhode Island. It's the Touring Players Senior Doubles, and it's next Wednesday, October the 30th at 7:30 Eastern Time, and I'll be there with another average builder.
Norm Duke escapes against Ernie Schlegel, 208 to 202. That earns him the right to take on the hottest player on tour, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Stay tuned. Match number 2. Norm Duke against two-time Player of the Year, Walter Ray Williams Jr., looking for his 4th victory this year.
I know if I'm Norm Duke right now, I feel like I've got to win. That was such a big break. I'm sure that Norm was getting ready to pack up his stuff and leave.
He may throw nothing but strikes now.
Well, he's got to be confident, and he's got to feel lucky. And that's a hard combination to beat right now.
Especially when you got talent to go with him.
Yeah, and we all know he has that. Walter Ray Williams, 37 years old, 16 years a pro, and the best bowler out here the last 5 years, without a doubt.
Come on, baby. That's not quite what I wanted.
Well, what we want is the scores, and ESPN always provides them at 28 and 56 past the hour. As Walter Ray now shoots 10-pin cross lane. No trouble as he rumbles it down there.
All right, as we look at Walter Ray's style, very distinctive 5-step approach, pushes the ball away in his second step. A pretty high backswing, a little past shoulder high, and just really, really cuts it loose. Never makes a tentative shot. I think that's his greatest asset.
Come on, carry it. That's it.
And he talks to that ball, and I think it listens to him.
It seems to listen to him. I don't know.
He never listened to me. I don't know about you.
It listened a little bit last week.
A little bit last week. It certainly did. Well, I had something to do with the thrower, too, I thought.
Norm Duke for a double.
I asked Norm Duke if the distraction of a new baby and new home, business activities had distracted him.
Yes, they certainly have been a distraction, but things are slowing down a little bit. I've been able to dedicate some time to my bowling game and really concentrate hard at it. And I'm going to try to make a run at Walter Ray. He's really doing good, and I want to match some of the things that he's done in the past.
Well, he gets his first opportunity right here as he challenges Walter Ray. Oh, my goodness.
It looks like our friend Mr. Duke has found something. Just those 3 shots have been 10 in the pit, 10 in the pit, 10 in the pit.
Just perfect. And Walter knows that people just seem to bowl well against him.
Well, when you're bowling against the best, it rises you to a new level. Walter needs this for the double.
Paige, his lovely wife, Paige Pennington, approves of that.
Well, she's seen Walter throw a lot of strikes. Walter best be getting this one in the 4th also.
Down by 10, but
fast.
what did he say there?
He said he thought he went a
I
little
was
too
looking at fine a while ago.
I believe Walter thinks the lanes are starting to carry down the oil a little bit. He said the ball was hooking up fine a while ago. So maybe he's moving further to the right.
Come on, carry. Yes.
That's the hit that Walter Ray didn't carry 5 years ago.
We can't give him any more advantage, I'll tell you.
Oh, boy, that is sweet. Just tickles that little 10-pin over.
Two very confident players here. This is a treat to watch these guys.
Well, they're in my mind, the two best bowlers, you know, of this decade.
Boy, that made a snap in a hurry. Just a hair soft?
Just a little bit. Yeah, he was a little soft with that shot. I think he knows it. I think Norm feels like he found something. Now, you can see his ball going out, to about the 5 board. Now it starts making that move, and he was lucky again. Only leaving the 7 pin. He's got to feel pretty good about that delivery.
The ATP Tour. The top men's tennis players in the world will be competing as ESPN and ESPN2 brings you the Mercedes Super 9 Eurocard Open starting Thursday and running through Sunday. Catch all the action as Andre Agassi, Michael Chang, and Thomas Musker try to capture the title in the 8th Mercedes Super 9 tournament of the year. Norm Duke right back in the pocket. This is Mike Durbin along with Marshall Holman. We're at Marcel's Olympic Bowl in Rochester, New York for the championship round finals of the Rochester Open. In our opening match, Norm Duke defeated Ernie Schlegel 208 to 202, and he leads by 1 pin in this match in the 5th frame.
That's it.
Doesn't lead anymore, though.
No, now he's got it going right now, and that's the shot he wanted. He threw that ball, he watched that ball roll into the pins, and he said, that's it. Walter Ray is a precise player. I mean, he likes getting those off hits, but he wants, watch this ball, he wants the ball high flush in the pocket. And that's exactly where it is. That's the way he likes to see the ball roll.
I was talking to him earlier today, and we were talking about how long he's going to stay on tour and everything. He says, well, you know, I throw the ball straight, but I put everything into it every shot.
Yeah, he doesn't hold back. As I said earlier, that's one of his great assets. He just cuts it loose.
Come on, baby.
Oh, shucks.
Oh, shucks is right. I think possibly that ball was down a little bit early onto the lane, and when it got down to the pins, it had pretty much run out of energy.
Well, that 10 pin is a way of telling you what happened with your hand release, doesn't it?
There's absolutely no doubt. Uh-oh.
Oh, it hangs on. Walter Ray Williams Jr. leads by 10 pins halfway through this match, but we know Norm Duke can strike and come back. Will he? We'll find out. Doing a little repair work on his ball. Is the clock running now, Marshall, or is it?
No, it's not, Mike. If you tell the tournament director that you're going to be using tape to change the size of your thumb hole, the clock is not on. The clock is now on now, and he has 13 seconds to get the shot away. No problem. This is the lane he came in high on the last frame.
Oh, the solid 10, and that was to even the match. So he's going to stay behind by 10, even with a spare conversion.
Another very good delivery. I think that shot actually surprised him. We'll watch this ball go right in the 1-3 pocket flush. Watch the 6 pin just dances right around it.
Well, that ball finished almost dead flush over the 9 pin. At the 10 pin. Well, the only one with an open so far is Ernie Schlegel, and he had 2.
Both on the right-hand lane.
And one high and one light.
Yeah, he got a little bit trapped towards the end of that game. I don't think he was as decisive as he needed to be. And it cost him, and that's why we're watching Norm Duke bowling against Walter Ray Williams Jr.
It's too bad, because he had a winning shot, I thought, too.
Yeah, he looked good.
7th frame action, trailing by 10 on lane 33. Gets the light scrambler.
A little more speed on that delivery. And that's why the ball came in just a little bit light. But with these balls, that light hit, I want to hit light. That's a higher percentage carry than sometimes hitting flush.
You did hit light several times last week. That's a high percentage hit, too, though. I always kind of like those.
Yeah, when you get your ball to go be right between the 8 and the 9.
You don't leave either one of them, huh?
Right. Here we see Walter A. Williams at his best, just really being aggressive. Watch this ball right between the 8 and the 9. Everything's gone.
Boy, that was perfect. Leading by 10, 8th frame can increase it to 20. Who's going to blink in this match?
Come on, carry, baby, come on.
Well, they're bowling pretty much the same game.
It's just going to come down who carries at the end, because they're both just stuffing every shot.
It seemed like during the practice the carry was a little bit better, but once the lights come on and we get to the real action, maybe a little bit of a squeeze up there.
That's a little better.
Walter Ray always talking. That's a little better.
Well, he likes the way he made that 10 pin. The last time he barely just tickled it over, so he's pleased with that.
Not pleased that he left it.
Not at all.
This is to even the match. We're in the 8th frame. Duke trailing by 10.
Look at those eyes.
Has to hurry. The weak 10 followed upon the solid 10.
Now, it's a look of disbelief for Norm. I mean, he throws that ball and he's saying to himself, what do I have to do to strike on 34? That was a good shot. You'll see his delivery again. The ball goes actually a lot wider, about to the 3 board. Now it's trucking back. And the 10 pin, he thinks he's got it. He's ready to give it the fist. All right. Oh, no.
And the conversion. So we head to the 9th frame. Still a 10-pin differential between these two players. And as the scoreboard shows us, Walter Ray has it. So often on the PBA Tour, it comes down to who can perform in the 9th and 10th frame.
Well, that's certainly true. And I would be surprised if we see anything except some type of a tap in the next couple of frames. They're both zoned in pretty good. They know where the pocket is. They know what it takes to get there. This has been Norm's good lane.
Wow. A solid 9-pin. Says thank you very much.
Well, we'll watch this ball. It's actually going to be a little bit inside his target. Now it's high, but it stopped. And it just hooks just by the 9-pin.
And as he came back, the shoulder slumped. The body English said, no, please, not now.
Oh, yeah. That hurts. He threw a great shot, but that's another one of the penalties you pay for this new kind of equipment.
11 pins the difference now, and the fate of this match is in Walter Ray's hands.
Well, Walter can certainly shut Norm Duke out with just a couple of strikes. Norm Duke can shoot a possible 228, and Walter Ray can shoot a possible 249.
Well, that gets the count back even. So it's still a 10-pin match.
Another good-looking shot.
Did you hear that? Stubborn pins down there, he says.
Well, they are. Watch this. Watch this ball hits half pocket, deflects a little bit, and the 6-pin never tries to jump out of the gutter and knock the 10 out.
All right, he says. Get this one.
He can still shut Norm out. He needs 2 strikes in the 10th. If he strikes the first ball and then spares, we could have a tie.
Norm Duke's still playing with some tape on his grip that he's going to put back into the thumb.
Well, he was mentioned to me earlier in the locker room that the ball was a little bit too big. The thumb was a little big.
That has to hurry. And it does.
Well, right now, all Norm Duke can do is hope that Walter doesn't strike here and leaves him a chance.
Walter A. very good at closing out matches.
Well, absolutely. You know, in talking with David Husted, he was telling me a few weeks ago that if he's bowling against Walter Ray, he wants to close him out before the 9th frame. He wants it over. He doesn't want to give Walter any kind of chance because he's that tough.
Everybody knows it.
Carry it. Yeah.
Well, there's your winner right there. And all Norm can do is think about what might have been if he could have carried a few more strikes.
Well, he got his opportunity. He wanted to bowl the best. He wanted to bowl Walter Ray, and Walter Ray this time came out on top.
And Walter needs 1 pin to win. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's the winner.
That's a pretty secure limb there that you're resting on.
Oh, baby.
Ho, it says. Oh, that's 4, 5. 8 strikes for Walter Ray Williams Jr. 238. Norm Duke is going to take a $4,000 check home with him. Well, that's a I'm locked out type shot.
Yeah, that shot is inconsequential at this point. Norm is smiling. He knows he's bowling well again. I'm sure we'll see him soon.
That many?
Norm Duke just finishing out the 4-6, 7-10. At the 2 on the right. 8 out. He finishes with 202. Walter Ray is our winner in match number 2. When we come back, we'll be looking at other finishers this week. Stay tuned. Some of the other players that made money this week. 5-time champion Chris Warren dropped out of the telecast when he lost the position round to Eugene McCune.
Del Ballard Jr., he owns 3 majors and will be looking for his 4th at the Touring Players Championship in 3 weeks in Pittsburgh. And Randy Peterson, 11th, wanted me to say hi to his daughter, Savannah.
My partner last week, Brian Goebel, he liked the television experience so much he tried to make it back here, just fell a little bit short. 17, Dave Schreiber finished 2nd here last year.
Brian Voss, Hall of Famer, has won at least 1 title in each of the last 10 years. That's the longest active winning streak on tour.
And our alternate, an up-and-comer, Steve Wilson. He's the only player on tour other than Walter Ray Williams Jr. to win multiple tournaments this year. Right now, my partner, Marshall Holman, has a very special guest. Let's go to Marshall.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm here with Marcel Fournier, the proprietor of Marcel's Olympic Bowl. And Marcel, it's your 12th year. What's the formula for your success? Things have really been going well for you here.
Well, actually, we have a great crew, and my daughter Joanne organizes it all, and then the rest of us just execute. And actually, it comes naturally, I think, for us because we have a great bowling community, and the community supports us, and that makes it it makes it roll well. And then, of course, the players participate, and then we had a great relationship with the whole PBA staff this week. So all of that came together for a terrific tournament.
Oh, very good. Now, the scores here on television at your bowling center have been very, very high in past years. What do you anticipate tonight?
I think based on the way all the bowlers have been bowling all week long, I think we're going to have a continuation of that. The bowlers have been absolutely fantastic with their scores, and the position round last night was absolutely amazing, where Chris Hooper jumped from 4th to 2nd. Ernie went from 7th to 5th. I mean, it was fantastic.
Well, I anticipate a good show, too. Thanks a lot, Marcel.
Thank you.
The great Walter Ray Williams defeats Norm Duke 238 to 202, setting up our semifinal match of the inexperienced Chris Hooper against Walter Ray. There it is. Hi, Grammy and Grampy. A lot of fans here rooting for Chris Hooper, but he's got his hands full, and is definitely the underdog in this match.
Well, he certainly is. Walter Ray, very confident, shooting 238 the last game with every ball in the pocket.
Starts right off with a strike. Chris Hooper, though, I think finishing first is a good move for him.
Well, everybody has chosen to finish first. I believe that Chris can do it. He just has to let his natural game go through. Oh, there's a great shot to open up. We'll take a look at Chris Hooper's form on this shot. This is his first shot on national television. He takes a 5-step approach, pushes the ball away in the 2nd step, not unlike some of our other players tonight's show. Shoulder high, really lets it go, and very, very strong roll. Hooks the ball quite a bit.
Pretty smooth there and solid at the line.
Yeah, he'd like to start out with a double right here. Well, he doesn't look as nervous as we thought he might be.
Oh, he looked pretty calm on those two, especially the hand release of both those shots. He says, here, great one. Match that. Walter.
Oh, man. Left enough of those weak tins.
Walter, there's lots more where those came from.
Yeah, well, Walter leaves another weak 10. Now he'll go to his harder ball. You can see this shot on the right-hand lane. He likes it right now, but it just hangs a little bit right toward the end. Flat 10.
We remember last year, though, Walter Ray was out of it then and came back. There it is, October the 25th. Got that big break there, pin coming across. Threw a bunch of strikes at the end to defeat Dave Traber. This is Brack Live.
Seems to be a little more confident on that left-hand lane, and he's going to be finishing on the right-hand lane. So maybe Chris Hooper saw something and decided to put Walter on his tough lane. Chris Hooper defeated Walter 257, 221 in match play. Well, that 10-pin didn't take any time to fall out, Mike Durbin.
Chris Hooper coming right out of the gate. Got his signs here. People rooting for him. Shaking his head. Is he unhappy with that shot?
I think he likes it a lot. This ball goes way out to the right. But here it comes. And watch the way the 6-pin just kills the 10.
Well, 9 out of that. It's a pretty good shot.
He was fortunate to get 9. He was fast on that delivery. He wasn't able to get himself in the proper timing once he got.
Everybody is here. They all look as uptight as he is. But at least he can get out there and perform. They can't. They got to watch.
It's a very, very tough position to watch a relative. Shouldn't have any trouble with the spare.
Leads in this match by 19 pins right now. And Walter Ray has been struggling on lane 34 for a few frames now.
Well, he's left a lot of 10 pins on 34.
How many TV appearances has he got? This is his 85th.
Come on.
There it is. He's had so much success that earlier I had a chance to ask him, has it become routine for you?
I definitely have a drive to do very well every week. I want to win every week. I know it's not possible, but I want to do my very best every single week. I'd like to be player of the year again. I'd like to be player of the year next year. So I still think I got another 5 or 6 years left, and I just want to bowl as well as I can every tournament.
To take the lead, has to hurry, and does.
That's good. That's what I like. That's good.
That's what I like, he says.
Right there, that's it.
Well, if Chris Hooper wasn't nervous before, now Walter Ray is lined in. He could be now. Look at Chris Hooper's earnings. He's going to make more tonight than he's had in his entire career.
Good shot. Got that in a little bit and it held pocket, Marsh.
Yeah, he's got some room out there. He can pull the ball a little bit to the left, and he can send the ball a little bit to the right and still get it to the pocket if he gets to the line in time. His previous frame, his timing wasn't good, and that's why he didn't get the proper leverage and left the 2-pin.
What kind of spare shooter is he?
Seems to be a good spare shooter. I watched him earlier and no problems.
The PGA Tour, the Southern Hills Country Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is host to the PGA Tour final stop. Only the top 30 money winners on the tour compete in the Super Bowl of the PGA Tour. Rookie sensation Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Fred Couples, and Greg Norman will compete. Join ESPN on air tomorrow at 3 and Friday at 3:30 p.m. That has to hold, and doesn't. The 3, 6, 9, 10.
Yeah, you can see his reaction. He just did not like this shot, and he kind of got the elbow out, and he just knows it right there. Oh my gosh, what have I done? And he leaves a 3, 6, 9, 10, which it's not a split, but it's an exceptionally difficult spare. Do
you hook it into it when you make it?
I try and use the hook when I play this spare.
Oh, that's the danger of that. 6 out. So there's a chink in the rookie's armor caused by the veteran of Walter Ray Williams Jr. He leads by a substantial amount. Can the kid come back? We'll find out after this. 34, leading by 20 pins, working on 3 in a row, can increase it to 30 with a strike right here.
And this is always a tough shot coming out of commercial. But for Walter Ray,
oh, wow, the messenger came back and got intercepted there.
It was interference. We're going to watch this pin action again. This is a great shot. The ball is just off his hand very, very nicely, going down the lane. Now here comes, watch this messenger. I believe it's a head pin, goes to the sideboard and just races back.
That's better.
Well, we didn't get a chance to see it, but I I believe the 6-pin might have gotten its way.
I'm looking for the striped official with the flag to throw the penalty flag there for interference. Here it comes.
The butt of the pin, the head of the pin got in the way, or else that's a messenger strike.
Walter A., the largest of our competitors tonight at 6'2", 180 pounds, trying to put all of that 180 pounds into every shot.
Close enough.
You know, and to Walter's credit, he isn't all that disappointed with not striking in the previous shot, because he knew he threw a good shot, came off his hand the way he wanted to. He made the spare and then came back and struck.
Seems to put those things behind him really well.
Oh, that ball almost went in the gutter. That was on the one board. Watch this ball. This ball definitely got further right than he wanted. That's the one board right there, folks.
Well, that flew out to the first board, and we're flying to the famous players that have won their first show. Weber, Salvino, Dave Davis, Mike Albee, and Norm Duke, and he doubles to stay in the match. He cut it to 9 pins.
Well, he just got 2 good breaks in a row. On the right-hand lane, it went out to the one board, and that shot he kind of made up for it. Got the ball in a little bit, trips the 4-pin. Walter knows he's got a match in his hands.
He's got to figure out a way to strike on this lane.
More loft.
Yes.
He used more loft to delay the roll and kept some energy for the back end of the lane.
Was that intentional, you think?
It was either it was intentional or it's one of the subconscious moves, you know, that a great player makes.
19 pins, 9th frame. Got to keep it going to get up to 29 ahead with a strike here on his good lane.
Well, I'm sure Walter knows he needs this shot. Doesn't want to give Chris Hooper any hope at all.
Oh, and the solid 10. My goodness gracious. Oh, man, he says.
Got a few 10 pins tonight.
Well, Walter lamenting about the 10 pins he's left. He really has bowled great. That's his 7th 10 pin, and I can see why he might be just a little bit disappointed.
Cross lane at the 10 pin. No trouble. Can he be shut out in this match?
Chris Hooper can get up and shut out the great Walter Ray Williams if he strikes the 9th, the 10th, the second ball in the 10th, and then gets 9.
He would finish with 239 if he did all that. Oh, tough shot to throw.
Sometimes it's hard to let the ball go. You know, that's what I was saying earlier about Walter Ray being able to cut it loose. Chris did not let this ball go. He cut it short. The ball hooks early. And with all those fingers he puts in it, it's absolute danger.
Cut it short, meaning?
Meaning he didn't get the ball out on the lane the way he wanted to.
Well, inexperience showing up in the 9th frame. A valiant battle, but it looks like it's going to come up short, as the best he can get right now is 205 if he strikes out. Walter Ray going into 228 clip. Looks like we're going to have a great final match.
Well, we're going to have Walter Ray Williams, the Hall of Famer, against Pete Weber, the future Hall of Famer.
Boy, one ball makes so much difference. That strike in the 9th frame, we got a whole different ball game here and a different mental attitude.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Mike, and it really, I believe, did come down to a little inexperience on Chris's part. He made a couple of bad shots at key times. If you were to ask him, he'd probably tell you he had a great shot to the pocket and really had a good chance to win.
Pounds it in there again. He's going to start with 3, and if he gets this one, he'll finish with 3.
Yeah, well, he had the 2 big errors in the 6th frame. He left the 3, 6, 9, 10, and then got none of them. And the 9th frame with the wide open split.
Finishing it out. Strike here. He'll wind up with 7 strikes.
He'll still get a good ovation from the crowd here. He just lives a couple hours away. People love him. A great experience for Chris Hooper, and don't be surprised to see him back again. He was talking about maybe bowling a little more nationally next year than he has in the past.
Walter Ray trying to figure out the right lane still.
Well, he's going to probably, there he goes at lofting the ball out.
And still leaving 10 pins.
There's his 8th 10 pin.
Pete Weber sitting over the side. If you're in that position, do you finish on your good lane, or do you make Walter finish on the right lane?
Well, it depends if Pete really has a lane that he likes a lot more than the other. If he likes them about the same, you definitely make Walter Ray finish on lane 34.
Let's see, I guess I'm gonna move a little bit here.
Move a little bit here, he says. Wonder what he'll do. Got any idea? Try a little more hook.
I think he might try to maybe throw the ball a little more. No, he's going straight again.
They have found something there on the fill ball. Walter Ray has won the semifinal match, 227 to 202. We'll be back with Championship Frame right after this. Stay with us.
For 36 years, Dr. Pearl has believed in providing the best in Boost by half. But hurry, Pearl's Founders Day sale ends soon.
And now it's time for Championship Frame. And in the opening match, Ernie Schlegel needed a spare and 5 pins to win that match, Marshall.
Well, this is very uncharacteristic of Ernie. He throws the ball a little bit to the right, and he just doesn't have enough fingers to get it back and leaves the 210. The adjustment off the frame before in the 8th where he went high.
As a result, Norm Duke won that opening match 208 to 202, and he moved on to face Walter Ray Williams Jr. Walter Ray here needs a strike and then one more pin to lock out Norm Duke.
And he gets up and makes a beautiful shot. Nothing but 10 right there. Didn't want to give Norm the chance. He likes this one.
There's the final score. Walter Ray 238, Norm Duke 202 to set up our semifinal match. And the kid gave him a battle. We're in the 9th frame here. He's working on 2 strikes.
He's actually got a chance to shut him out if he can strike in the 9th, 10th, and 11th. And he just did not throw a good shot.
A little bit soft, the full penalty, and the 4-6-7 ending basically that semifinal match. And the final score, Walter Ray 227, Chris Hooper 202, which sets up a great final match as Pete Weber tries to win for the first time since 1993, but he's going against Walter Ray. Stay tuned. They're bowling for that trophy. 2 great players going for it. One with 21 titles, Pete Weber. The other trying for his 20th title, Walter Ray Williams Jr. And we were right. He's making him finish on that right lane.
Well, it's a smart move by Petey. You know, in Walter's bowling goal, one of his major goals is to have more first places than seconds. He's got 19 and 27. And if he doesn't knock that 10 pin over, it could be 19 and 28.
I gotta talk to the manager.
He's still smiling. You gotta love him.
And I can remember my dad always used to say when the guy leave a 10 pin or something like that, he said, call the manager. There he is. Marcel Fournier is the proprietor here.
Spare it up.
Spare it up. He's not loose enough. He's not relaxed enough.
Walter's got a good attitude today. He knows he's going to leave some 10 pins. He knows he's going to get some strikes. It's just a matter of what Pete Weber's going to do. Now, will Pete throw that big hook he was using in practice, or will he move further out and go a little more direct?
What do you think?
I think he's going direct.
Well, that was direct.
That's a very confident shot. Earlier in practice, he was playing the 4th arrow and swinging the ball way out. Now we'll take a look at Pete Weber's game. Very, very distinctive. Pushes the ball away with a 5-step approach, 2nd step push away. Now very high backswing, but very, very loose. And beautiful follow through. Just another great Pete Weber shot. Would love to open the game out with a double.
Wow. Power.
A great shot. He loves that. I'll tell you right now, he knows he's bowling Walter Ray Williams, who's the best bowler on tour today. He knows he needs to get out to a fast start. Let's see if Walter can knock that 10 pin down.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Flush.
my gosh. That's 10 pins he's left. And I know one thing. If I'm either one of those bowlers, I don't want to shoot 202 because every match has been lost with a 202 score.
converts his second 10-pin this game. 202, the magic wrong number so far tonight. Walter Ray leading the average parade, 225. He has what, almost 150 some games more than Parker Bone, and 3 pins ahead of him in average. And another 10-pin, number 11.
He's still smiling,
Okay.
but he says that's okay. He knows he's making good shots. He's doing everything that he feels he needs to do. It's just 9 instead of 10. You can see Walter Ray's career earnings at $1.7 million, and I'm sure he's got most of that.
Having fun. Having fun.
I don't know how much longer it's going to be fun leaving those 10 pins. Pete Weber's career earnings are $1,801,000, so only about $34,000 separating these two players.
Average 237 this week, looking for 3 in a row.
Kind of cut that one off just a hair.
You could see when he threw that shot, the thumb went down. It went left instead of the fingers coming out. Look at that. Thumb goes down, ball goes left. Pete is a good spare shooter. He'll throw the ball hard and straight to pick up the 3-6-10.
Uh-oh. Oh, what a break. What a break.
That is a very good break. Now you can see this shot. Watch the way he turns the ball early. Right there.
Right over the top of it. My God. Yeah, and he's trying to stay behind it.
Yes, he is. That's exactly what he's been trying to do in the last few years, is try to stay behind it more to try and get him out of this little mini slump that he's been in. He hasn't won in a couple years.
Oh, 7-pin falls. I mean, 10 pins are bad enough, but when they have company, then it's really disaster.
Yeah, you can see this shot is right on line. It's right where he wants to throw the ball, but it's hanging a little bit. Now it makes the move. 8 pins are gone, and the 7-pin just barely falls. Pete picks up the 10-pin. Happy to make a mark in that frame, and happy to mark in the frame before he almost missed the 3-6-10. In fact, missed it so far, he made it.
Walter Ray looking for his first strike, trailing by 8 pins. We're in the final match.
Come on. Yeah.
And he knocked that 10-pin over with his voice.
Well, I think 3 10-pins in a row was enough for Walter.
Well, he had 3 10-pins in a row, but right now, if he strikes here in the 5th frame, he takes a 2-pin lead, as the scoreboard tells us.
It can be very frustrating to be hitting the pocket all day and leaving the 10 pins at Walter's left, but he is hanging in there, having a good time.
Walter Ray takes the lead halfway through the championship match. Pete Weber's got to gear it right back up to get back into that 1-3 pocket.
Much more room. He gave that ball more room, but it still hooked very, very hard in the back end.
There we see these two guys at the top of that money list, and Marshall Holman in 4th place there. Mike Albee still creeping up on everybody. It's a lot of money, guys.
Hard and straight at the 9-pin.
Buddy Charles falls another pin behind. And Joanne Fournier, daughter of Marcel. She's the tournament chairman here at Marcel's Olympic Bowl. Does an outstanding job.
Yeah, she certainly does. They had an excellent pro-am this year, I believe a record pro-am, and she's due a lot of the credit. Pete needs to start striking again right now. More speed.
Perfect. Perfect. 3 pins the difference. Walter Ray has him going to the lane that's giving him more trouble tonight.
And you know, it means more to both of these guys to beat the other one, because they are the number 1 and 2 money winners of all time.
Got it out that time. Got it out.
Well, Walter seems to have figured out how to knock the 10-pin down. He starts out leaving 3 10-pins in a row, and then he strikes 3 in a row for a 13-pin lead.
think we should mention that these two guys earlier this morning played a round of 18 holes of golf together. Pete Weber won that little battle, but he's not winning this battle right now.
This might be a little more important.
Just a tad. Walter Ray, the ultimate competitor. It's the NHL on ESPN. New acquisition Brendan Shanahan leads the Detroit Red Wings against their arch rival, the Chicago Blackhawks, Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Join ESPN for all the action from Joe Louis Arena.
I believe Pete wanted a re-rack on lane 34.
Pete covering it himself right down there. I asked him earlier what winning tonight would mean to him. Well, we'll get that later. Right now, we're back to live action as he finally got his re-rack.
Well, he had to yell for it. They tried to do it with the tournament director asking the back end, but Pete just sort of said, listen, I'll take the bull by the horns. I want my re-rack.
Will it carry? Yes.
Almost a solid 9-pin, Mike.
There's his wife, Tracy. Now we'll find out what he had to say about winning tonight, what it would mean to him.
Well, it means that my practice over the summer paid off on my release that I've been working on. I've been working on trying to stay behind the ball a little bit more, trying to get the end-over-end roll again, and it would really make me happy again. I think I'd be back. I think I'm ready for a bowler of the year maybe next year.
3 pins. 3 pins, the difference right now. We're headed to the 8th frame. Walter Ray has him. Can he hang on to that lead and increase it? We'll find out when we come back. Stay with us.
Well,
some of the statistics from this week. Only 132 players in the field. Everybody averaged 215. Took 220 to cash and 226 to make the top 24, Marshall.
That's a very high average. And you can see Pete Weber led the tournament almost wire to wire, slipped a little in the 4th and 5th rounds. Hooper made that big charge toward the end. Walter Ray was very consistent throughout the tournament.
Worst he's been, almost his 2nd or 3rd. So, and we can see that they average here about 150 pounds. And we've got 130 going against 180 in this match, and 3 pins is the difference. Walter Ray working on 4 in a row, headed to the 8th frame. Will it carry the 10? Oh, and the 7. Oh.
You know, Walter's had a lot of tough breaks in his matches today, but that was a great, great break. That 7-pin just easing over right at the very, very end.
That puts him up by 13, headed for the 9th frame. And again, it's going to come down to the player that can perform in the 9th and 10th. They've both been there before.
I think Petey's kind of hoping that Walter gives him just a little opening.
And he did. Oh, my goodness.
That's the first time that...
didn't do that.
First time he's missed the pocket, it seems like all day. That ball just slipped off his hand. He knew it immediately. It was not coming back. 1, 2, 4, 10, washout. Now, this is a shot that he can make. It's not an exceptionally difficult spare, especially for a good spare shooter like Walter.
He's got to make it.
Well, I agree with you, Mike.
Come on. Come on.
He did make it.
I'll tell you what, a lot of class right there. He makes that terrible delivery and then comes back with a wonderful spare conversion. Now watch this. This is textbook. 1 pin right into the 10-pin.
9 pins.
Once again, just a beautiful shot.
Is the difference. Pete can take the lead with a strike here in the 9th frame.
And I believe he could, if he takes it all the way out, could close him out.
Oh, the 9-pin. He talked about it. He almost left it the last time on this lane.
2 times in a row. His last 2 frames were almost 9 pins.
And he's saying, why now? How no?
What a terrible break. But that's the risk you take with these kind of balls. He needed to move in just a little bit.
At the 9-pin, has it. The difference is 10 pins. Walter Ray has them. Pete has to strike it out. We could have a tie here.
It does set up for a possible tie, Mike, and that is very, very disappointing for Pete. That is a flush pocket hit, but the ball drives so hard, and Pete leaves a lot of 9 pins because he throws such a powerful ball. Got to regroup, make a good shot here, put pressure on Walter Ray.
Kind of spun it down there.
Yeah, and that could be the product of the 9-pin. You know, it's almost like a subconscious adjustment for the left lane when he had the problem on the right lane.
At the 2-pin.
Uh-oh. No problem.
A strike on the fill ball. Will finish with 223. Walter Ray would need a mark of some kind in the 10th frame.
And you'd have to like Walter Ray's chances. He's generally an accurate player, although his last shot was very bad. Well, a disappointed Pete Weber shoots 223, forces Walter Ray Williams to get a mark in the 10th frame. And if I could find somebody to bet with right now, I think I'd
You'd be betting on Walter.
Well, you'd have to. Yeah.
We'll go through the same routine.
This is for title number 20.
That's good. That's good.
Well, he knew it was good.
Well, he did exactly what he needed to do. He got up and made a very good shot. If he misses this, it's 222. He loses. Walter Ray Williams is regarded as the best spare shooter on tour.
He's got to prove it now.
Well, I needed to make a 10-pin last week. I made mine. I think Walter can make his.
Yes.
He knew it.
Yeah.
That's enough. Well, no, he needs what? 1 pin.
He needs to stay behind the foul line and keep the ball in the lane.
All the way, Walter Ray.
There's your winner.
Yes.
And appropriately enough, he finishes with another 10-pin. Title number 20 for Walter Ray Williams Jr. Walter Ray is your winner, 232 to 223. We'll be back to talk to this champion that likes Marcel's. Stay with us.
Here's Walter Ray Williams Jr. last year when he defeated David Traber. As he said, he snuck into 24th and snuck into the top 5 and came away with a victory last year. Here's the trophy that he's going to win. Walter Ray, you just keep doing it here at Marcel's Olympic Bowl.
I've been playing very well over the years, and there was a couple of years I just missed the top 24, a couple of years I just missed the top 5, and the last 2 years it's just been phenomenal. I'd like to win every week and every year.
Well, Marshall's got a question for you, too.
Walter, an uncharacteristic error in the 9th frame, leaving the washout. What was going through your mind when that ball left your hand?
When I let go of that, I knew it was a bad shot. I was hoping it would find some dry boards out there, but there was some oil out there a little bit, and it just didn't hook up, obviously. It was a very bad shot. I threw a bunch of good shots. I left an awful lot of 10 pins, but I had a pretty good reaction, and I just had to keep it in a little bit of zone there. And for the most part, I did that very well. That one shot, oh, man, as soon as I let it go, I knew it was a bad shot. And I was kind of hoping it would get lucky, but unfortunately for me, I made the spare. I'm not very good at the washout, but I made the right adjustment, picked it up, and fortunately for me, Pete wasn't able to strike out. He bowled great this week.
Your feelings on victory number 20?
Wow. That's great. And to do it back-to-back here in Rochester. It's a great bowling town. Wow, I'd like to thank Brunswick and Art McKee for helping me out. Been great for me. I think they were also here for the Pro-Am for Marcel's tournament, and just great, mate.
Well, everything's great, but we got to take a small break right now. We'll be back again to talk to this guy after just a few seconds. Don't hit that clicker. We'll be right back. And we're with the guy that's going to sign up for every league here at Marcel's Olympic Bowl.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Marcel and Joanne and all the employees here. They do a great job. It's a great tournament. Rochester's a great bowling town. Fantastic.
Walter, you left that 10-pin in the 10th frame. Was it as tough for you to make it as it was for me?
Well, we both made it. I had a lot of practice at it. I was going to talk to the owner about that.
Well, it's a great win, Walter.
And we have to leave right now as we congratulate Walter Ray Williams Jr. This for Marshall Holman. This is Mike Durbin saying so long from Rochester, New York. Be sure to be with us next week from East Providence, Rhode Island for the Turing Pro Senior Doubles. Wednesday, October the 30th at 7:30. Coming up next, the World Masters Championship Billiards. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Go for the league minimum.
Have we said to